So, Clayton.
Yeah?
We have a podcast.
We do have a podcast.
It's Oddity Files. The
podcast. Cheeky name.
I know. Well, I didn't want to get new vanity plates, so I kind of stuck with the theme. But we're here, and we're going to tell stories and read emails and do all the fun stuff.
Spooky stories.
Spooky stories.
And interesting stories.
And interesting, yeah. Paranormal in the sense of anything weird.
And just, you can't explain it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the stuff I like.
Things that make you go, in unison. In stereo. Quite literally. So I got us a mascot. I was at Lowe's the other day.
Is it a succulent?
I don't know. I kill plants. This is an air plant, I believe. I don't think you have to water it. So I'm just going to try to keep it in the sun and hope for the best. If we kill him, does that mean the podcast is over?
That our future is also dead?
Yeah. So, what should we name him?
I don't know.
Clayton is...
The bottom says, The Scream.
Oh, no, I don't like. We'll think of it.
No.
You know what?
Well, he looks like he's melting.
Well, he's a ghost.
Right.
It's like billowing. It's like a train on like a wedding gown. I don't know. I'm just making shit up. That's what I do. But you know what? We should have, what do you think? We'll have 3 listeners? Have one of those 3 listeners name our mascot?
Maybe we should post a picture of him.
On the Instagram. The Instasnap, which you can follow us at Oddity Files.
On everything.
On everything. Twitter, Facebook, we're /Oddity Files. We've got a website, oddityfiles.com. Oh, and you know what? We're on Amazon Prime. You should totally add us to your watch list.
And we have merch.
Oh, I always forget about the merch. We need to make new merch. And by we, I mean me.
Well, I know. So, the shirt that says, like, Bigfoot, all that stuff?
Yeah.
You know what shirt I want?
Oh, you should tell them the shirt you want.
The one that says Clayton, Kitsie, Walter, Anna.
Well, we got to add Carter to that, too.
Well, Carter needs a friend.
Carter does need a friend. Well, there was 7 at
7.
Revenant.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Maybe a less clingy friend.
A less possessive kind of spirit. We'll tell you guys that story down the road. It's an upcoming episode. I think it's going to be an odd-isode. Which, speaking of odd-isodes, you can watch our short little snippet episodes on YouTube. We're at Oddity Files Crew. So how we're going to do this is we decided before we started recording that we were going to have our phone flip a coin.
Right, Siri.
Yes, and she chose tails. She also chose tails for...
What
wine we should drink.
Yes.
And something else.
Well, I was trying to decide between 2 stories to use for this episode. And I was like, you know what? That was the first one we did. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have her flip a coin. And
That's
she picked tails.
Yeah. And we figured out Siri is an ass man or girl.
Right.
Or my
Yours
Siri's,
is a man, right?
Yeah, with an Australian accent and
fitting.
Sounds nothing like Chris Hemsworth. I'm so disappointed.
Did you know that Bad Times at the El Royale, it's like already not in theaters?
What?
Yeah.
Shit, that was on my list of things to do next week.
It came out like 3 weeks ago.
Has it already been 3 weeks?
But still. I was like, well...
I guess it didn't do well.
It's fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like, all the reviews were great. Really? I don't know.
It was kind of like was it indie-ish?
No. It was like think about all the names that were in it.
Oh, yeah. Huge names.
Again,
Chris Hemsworth shirtless like the entire trailer. Ladies just in
walking
boys.
in the rain.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so pretty. But I digress. Have you seen A Haunting of Hill House yet?
I have. I've seen the first episode.
I'm going to kill you.
But we started the first episode at like 1:30 in the morning, so I fell asleep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so good. If anybody hasn't watched it, I think we should do like an entire episode about that once you watch it.
Every person I've talked to about it that's watched the whole thing has said the exact same thing.
It's so good.
It's so good.
And it's not just I actually wasn't jump scared hardly at all. It's just a really, really good story.
Because you don't really like horror film stuff, right?
I don't like anxiety-ridden stories. You know what I'm saying? Oh. Well, you watched Hereditary. With me. I was walking out of the room almost the entire movie.
Not even out of the room, outside.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was... Anyway, if you've seen Hereditary, you know that's terrifying. Anything else exciting? We're working on booking our episode season 3. That's cool news.
It is.
Yeah, location-wise.
Which we have some feelers out international, which is awesome.
So exciting.
It's more exciting when they come to you.
Oh, I know. I know. One of my favorite investigations was the one we did on Australia.
Unreal.
So cool.
Unreal. I want to go back.
I know. Okay. Well, I've got a really cool story. I know Siri decided you were going to go first, and I cannot wait to hear what you're going to talk about. So what do we got?
I have a feeling that you know about this, but maybe not in like great detail. So I wanted to do like a haunted object or item just because that really intrigues me. And
right.
I mean, there are entire museums of supposedly haunted objects.
Yeah. Lorraine Warren has one of the most infamous ones.
Yeah.
And it's, she has Annabelle.
Zach Bagans, his thing in Vegas, is that essentially what that is?
Yeah.
It's just full of haunted stuff?
He has like Robert Kevorkian's murder van.
Oh,
I mean, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And he just bought something with, oh gosh.
Charles Manson?
Charles Manson's
like
ashes.
Ashes and art and...
only Zach.
Only Zach.
But I decided on Robert the Doll.
I love Robert the Doll.
Have you seen Robert the Doll?
I have.
In person?
No.
Oh.
I don't. Well, I don't know if I ever want to do that. But you know that mannequin I bought off of eBay? The little boy mannequin?
Yes.
I bought him because he looks just like Robert the Doll. And I was going to dress him up in a sailor suit, so he's super creepy like Robert.
It's terrifying looking.
No, totally. There's an episode on Amazon Prime of Lore about Robert the Doll. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen any of Lore.
Oh, it's really... First season's really good.
It's from the same writers as something really popular.
That's this new season, I think. Isn't it like The Walking Dead?
I was going to say The Walking Dead, but I don't want to be wrong.
I don't know. That's just a guess.
Yeah, so I'm doing Robert the Doll.
Oh, can't wait to hear what you have to say. Are we...
No, I'm just tapping the door behind me.
He's all like laid out in the recliner.
Right.
And
that I didn't know reclined.
Whacking stuff in my teeny tiny little editing dungeon here.
Okay. We'll cut all this out.
No, I think it makes it fun. We're leaving it in.
All right, so Robert Eugene Otto, or Gene as his family called him, was just a young boy in the early 1900s when his grandfather bought him a doll as a birthday present during a trip to Germany.
Okay.
So this is complicated because, yes, the doll and the kids both are named Robert, but the child, his whole family called him Gene.
Okay.
So through the story, I will refer to him as Gene.
Okay, perfect.
So
perfect.
You're not confused.
Well, I don't know if it'll help, but we'll see.
So, Robert's origins go back to the Steiff Company, a toy maker that first manufactured the teddy bear in honor...
My grandmother used to collect those.
In honor of Theodore Roosevelt. So, what's crazy is that Robert the Doll was never intended to be sold as a toy, and a Steiff historian told the museum where Robert is now held that Robert the Doll was part of a set fabricated for a window display for clowns or jesters, which I found really intriguing.
Yeah.
And then the sailor suit was not original to the doll either, but was made by the family maid to match an outfit that Gene had.
Oh, okay. Which is adorable. Sure, we'll go with that.
So Gene loved this life-size doll, literally took it everywhere with him, even naming it. Gene was the one that named it after himself, Robert.
Well, there's issues right there.
Sure. But it wasn't long before people began noticing signs that Robert the Doll was a little more than they thought. Oh. In terms of malicious and evil, some might say. As rumor has it, the Ottos and their servants would often hear Gene in his bedroom having conversations with himself in two entirely different voices.
Wait. So Robert was talking. He had a voice for Robert the doll, and then he had a voice for himself, which is Eugene.
Gene, correct.
Okay, so that's not creepy.
Right.
Walking by a child's bedroom.
What's even crazier is that the Ottos would wake up in the middle of the night to Gene screaming, only to find him frightened in bed, surrounded by overturned furniture. Stuff had fallen off the walls. And Gene would blame Robert for messing up the bedroom. And every time that they would come in, Robert would be sitting at the foot of Gene's bed staring at him.
What?
Not like standing, but like, just sitting on the foot of his bed.
Right. And he probably went to bed holding the... Oh, so creepy.
Right. But it's like, there's no way this kid just like got up, flipped everything over, knocked stuff off the walls, started screaming. Like, I just...
Have you met my oldest son when he was that age? No, I'm just kidding. Zach, I love you.
But seriously, it's a little outlandish.
Night terrors would be one. Being a skeptic, I'm not a skeptic. Well, anywho. But night terrors. Anyhow.
So soon after, mutilated toys and mysterious happenings would appear in the home, only to have Gene proclaim each time that Robert did it. Though the Ottos didn't quite believe Gene, it was reported that they could hear an eerie sound of Robert giggling around the house.
Oh, I'm done.
And passerby even claimed to see a small doll moving past the windows.
Nope.
Robert was eventually moved to the attic, where he remained for a number of years.
Okay, so mom and dad put him up there. We're done. We don't want to deal with this.
Absolutely. So after Gene's parents passed away, he inherited the estate, which I use the word estate because it is this mansion in the Key West. It's massive.
Goals.
At which time Robert the doll returned to his old bedroom, Gene's turret room on the second floor. So you know how like mansions and estates have these beautiful like little turrets that stick out.
Oh, gorgeous.
That was, of course, his room.
Okay, so Gene brought him out of the attic once his
parents passed away and he inherited the estate.
Weird.
So at that point, Gene had begun working as an artist. And local folklore insists that Gene would spend his days alone in his mansion painting with none other than Robert by his side.
This guy's a weirdo.
He's a weirdo. So Gene eventually married, and many tales of his wife's disdain for Robert arose. Conflicting rumors surfaced, some alleging that Gene's wife died from insanity after locking Robert in the attic, while others report that Gene died with Robert by his side. So, like, kind of lost it.
Yes.
And so a lot of people are blaming Robert the doll for her losing it.
Which is insane.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out if this is a believable story or if the guy was just fucking nuts.
Maybe he drove his wife insane.
That's what I'm leaning towards right now.
So, Myrtle Reuter purchased the house after Otto's death, Myrtle Reuter purchased the house after Gene's death in 1974, also becoming Robert's new caretaker.
Oh, so the doll came with the house. I hope there
Absolutely.
was, that was in the contract.
And visitors swore they would hear footsteps in the attic and giggling. Some claimed Robert's expression changed when anyone badmouthed Otto in his presence.
Oh.
Reuter said that Robert would move around the house on his own, and after 20 years of this, she finally donated him to the Fort East Martello Museum in 1994. So this is now a person completely unattached to the family or anything that's like, this doll is a nightmare.
Right. But, okay, I'm going out on a limb here.
Sure.
What if Gene is now attached to the doll?
True. But I mean, who was attached before?
Or was he just crazy?
True.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
No, it absolutely makes sense. But like, you get what I'm saying. For someone totally unassociated with, it's just crazy.
No, it makes it much more believable.
Yeah.
But that, and I'm like, well, what would... And that's why I went with the whole, well, maybe Gene's haunting the doll now. I don't know. I'm just making shit up. It's what I do.
So today, the estate operates as a bed and breakfast called the Artist House.
When are we going?
Visitors can even stay in the turret bedroom.
When are we going?
Can they, like, drop him off for a night?
When are we going? We'll find out who haunts that damn doll.
So, like I said, Robert the doll now lives at the Fort East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida, where some believe his hair color and soul are both slowly fading.
Oh,
visitors beware, though, as Robert's current favorite mischievous act involves casting curses on those who take his photo without asking permission first.
See, this is the story I've heard.
Today, the walls near his glass case are covered with numerous letters from previous visitors and naysayers begging for Robert's forgiveness and asking him to remove any hex he has cast. There are even some of the things that he's done to people. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
That's worded weird. Some of the things that he's done that people said, he's haunted them, causing car accidents, broken bones, job loss, divorce, and a cornucopia of other misfortunes.
Oh, look at you and your fancy words.
It's almost Thanksgiving.
I see what you did there.
So yeah, people just will come back and write letters begging him, like, for forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
The museum said on average they get 1 to 3 letters a day.
A day?
A day.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
So is this the doll where if they throw insults at it, it does it? Because there's a couple of these kind of dolls out there. Or is it just if they take the photo of him?
All I found was if they take photos of him without asking permission.
Okay.
But also, the museum that he's in isn't like that friendly looking.
No, it looks like it was a jail at
It
some
looks like
point.
it was part of some, like, military fort.
Yeah.
Are those windows?
Well, it was Fort something, wasn't it?
Right. But, like, listen, why has he got to be there?
Yeah. We'll post those photos on the Instagram.
My second thing is, why is he holding this dog?
Where did he get the dog? Maybe somebody was trying to apologize and bring him a toy.
Well, nonetheless, the thing's terrifying. But I found, like, a lot of information that was, like, kind of contradicted itself. Like, at first, I heard that the maid was the one that made it for him.
Oh, yeah.
Which then I found out actually wasn't the case at all. She simply made the outfit because he also had the outfit.
Right. And it's all about Eugene.
It's all about him, apparently.
Yeah.
If he named... I mean, there are kids, though, where like, what are you going to name it? And they really only know their name anyways. But, like...
I don't know. I think psychopath when I think
Me
Gene
too.
at this point.
Especially the fact that after his parents passed, he just stayed in this mansion alone painting.
I know.
And I couldn't find any of his paintings, so obviously they weren't very
He
good.
wasn't very good.
So he marries, drives his wife crazy.
Yeah.
Because he's crazy.
Exactly.
His paintings are crap.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with the theory that Eugene haunts Robert at this point, and he demands permission to take his photo. I don't know that I want to find out for sure.
Or the photo thing probably has nothing to do with it. He's just an ass.
Yeah. I think you're onto something there. Oh, well, Robert the doll. I mean, would we stay at the bed and
I
breakfast?
would stay at that place. No problem.
I would bet he haunts both if he haunts anything.
I don't know.
Because it is all about Gene and his turret.
But apparently everything like stopped shortly after the doll left.
Weird.
I
don't know.
It kind of reminds me of that movie, that Lauren Cohen movie.
I never saw that one.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the same idea that these people are so obsessed with this doll, they kind of like give it a life of its own. And so you start to wonder, is it actually happening, or is it one of those things where you believe it so much
Like a tulpa.
that you think that it's actually happening?
I don't know. I don't know that I want to be within 100 yards of Robert. Just to be safe.
If we were there, you would...
I would be all about it, and I would be taking photos without his permission.
You'd take selfies and everything.
Oh, I totally would.
And then you tell Anna to, like,
let him know it's okay.
You.
Yeah. Wear all my obsidian stones and, all my hippie
We should
shit.
sage him.
We totally should.
So we're in the middle of an investigation here recently. And we started feeling a lot of like negative energies and this, that, and another. So we go outside and say to ourselves,
Because just, to be safe.
Right. And then we go back inside and nothing happens
the rest of the
night.
It was horrible.
So we essentially just like rinsed the location.
Yeah. I think that might have been. But it's all trial and error, right?
So I mean, what if we snuck in? Well, not snuck in, but snuck sage into the museum.
Yeah. I have some like white sage room spray. I'll just bring some in, spray it up in there.
Gosh. This is legit, right?
Yeah. It smells bad in here. I'm just going to spray it. Robert.
Lift up the glass case.
He's got like a pee stain now.
Gosh. On his white costume.
Oh, so Robert the dog. That was good. Excellent job, sir.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it is. I have more of a cryptid kind of story. It's actually pretty local. It's from Loveland, Ohio.
Is it the Frogman?
It is. What? It totally is. Yeah. We used to live in Cincy. It's really close. I know, that's what I was going to say.
Right? I actually almost did that. I almost did that one, but I was like, no, I'll wait to do something cryptid for later.
Yeah. Oh, I went full in. I'm going in. Full. Oh, words are hard.
Full frog.
Full frog. Okay, so the story starts off. The first sighting of the 4-foot-tall humanoid-looking frog took place in 1955. So it's kind of recent. It's not like, Loch Ness out there since, the dawn of man. But there were 3 different versions of the story that only differ slightly from each other. The 3 stories start the same way, with a businessman or a traveling salesman driving along an unnamed road in Loveland late at night. The stories start to diverge at this point. In one story, the driver was heading out of the Branch Hill neighborhood when he spotted 3 figures standing up on their hind legs along the side of the road, each 3 to 4 feet in height. They had leathery skin and frog faces.
Of course.
Because, that's a thing. In the other 2 versions, this is where it gets a little sketchy.
As if that wasn't enough.
Yeah, exactly. As if, 3-foot-tall frog standing up in the middle of the road wasn't crazy enough. The creatures were spotted under a poorly lit bridge. There are a number of bridges in Loveland, all going over the Miami River. So they didn't state which bridge, because if they had, we would be on our way right now.
Right.
The story tells of the businessmen watching the 3 figures converse for a while. Wait for it. While one of the creatures holds up a wand. A wand, like Harry Potter wand. Wait. Over its head, and the wand fires a spray of sparks, startling the observer into fleeing the sea. I'm not even kidding. That's like
My jaw is dropped because...
They had me until the wand.
You know what? I was trying to be optimistic about it. Like,
Yeah. Well, you never know. Maybe,
you never know. But
GMOs, whatever.
Listen.
Sorry. Yes, the wand.
Okay.
So
I'll try to act interested now.
Yeah. I'm kidding. And I love how they don't mention what kind of businessmen or traveling salesmen.
But the wand is what scared them off. It scared the businessmen off.
It wasn't the 3-foot frog. It was,
or the fact that they were having a conversation.
Speaking frog speak? I don't know, but it's the wand. That scared them off.
Yeah.
So 20-ish years later, on March 3rd, 1927, at 1 a.m.
1927?
No. Not at all. March 3rd, 1972.
Gotcha.
Yeah. On a clear, cold night, 2 Ohio police officers described their encounter went down like this. Officer Ray Shockey was en route to Loveland via Riverside Road when he thought he saw a dog beside the roadway, off in a field on Twitewee Road. I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, but it's sure fun to say. But then the thing, not dog, now it's a thing, stood up, and its eyes were illuminated by the car lights. It looked at him for an instant, turned, and leapt over the guardrail. So this There's no wand.
That's what I expected.
Yeah, totally. It's a little more believable, a little less magical ish, because it is a 3 to 4 foot frog. Shockey saw it go down the embankment and into the Little Miami River. He described the thing as weighing about 60 pounds, standing about 3 or 4 foot tall, and having textured leathery skin and a face like a frog or lizard.
Okay, see, now I'm back on board.
Right. Now it's
also a police officer.
Exactly.
Which I find a little more credible than questionable businessman
/ salesman /
1950s.
Yeah. So he tells his fellow officer Mark Matthews about it. He kind of goes and checks out the scene, and they find nothing. So not even 2 weeks later, the same police officer, Mark Matthews, on St. Patrick's Day on March 17th, 1972, was driving outside of Loveland when he had a similar experience. He sees an animal lying in the middle of the road. So he thinks roadkill. He gets out to remove it. And when the officer opened his car door, the animal got up in a crouched position like a football player. That's taken from some random website with the story, like a football player. Terrified, Matthews takes his gun out and takes a shot at the frogman. See, this again is more believable. You don't know what it is. You're going to shoot it. You're going to take it to Area 51 or wherever. Things like that.
Don't you wish they already had the on-dash cameras at this point in time?
Why don't we have more footage like this with the on-dash cameras?
Right.
It's a conspiracy. No, I don't know. I'm just making shit up. So the creature hobbles to the guardrail, mean mugs the guy. So staring at him the whole way over to the guardrail. And here's
so the shot missed, I'm assuming.
Well, it said hobbled. So, I guess a frog would hobble when it walks. I don't know. I'm assuming he missed.
Sure.
Which...
Me too.
How do you miss?
Because something 60 pounds, that's still pretty small.
Yeah.
And if you shoot it, I feel like it would have
killed
too well.
Yeah. But here's what I picture as he's walking to the guardrail. You know that Kermit meme that's out where he's got that disapproving look on his face?
Yes.
I picture him giving him that look all the way over to the guardrail. Yeah. And that was his story that night. He went back, he reported it, and can you imagine the teasing these guys got in the whatever officer locker room?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm so Officer A tells Officer B, and he's like, listen, people are going to think I'm crazy. I need you to say that you saw one too.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
But because what are the odds?
Yeah, that it's the exact guy.
Right.
That he explained exactly what he saw too.
But
he's going to up his story by saying, I shot at it.
And there's still no wand, so I'm still on board.
Yeah, exactly. So over the years, Matthew changes his story. And even though that night it happened, he described the exact same creature Officer Shockey saw. People say that Matthews couldn't handle this ridicule that we assumed had happened and changed his story to say that it was an overgrown, runaway pet lizard. Which, there is no pet lizard close to that size, is there? I mean, even iguanas don't even get that big.
You can have yes.
Yeah.
What are they called? Not Komodo dragons, because those you can't have as a pet. Right?
I think you can.
You can?
Yeah, I think you can have any kind of lizard. Well, yeah, but you have to meet animals to own one. Maybe there's a license. Maybe just let it go. Well, that's how people die.
Those, I feel like they run on their hind legs when they're freaking out.
I'm picturing that.
Jurassic Park.
Exactly, where the one that spits the tar or whatever. That's exactly what I'm picturing. But wait, there's another story from 2016. Yes, 2016.
So, extremely recent.
Yes, yesterday in my world. In 2016, Loveland made the headlines again. Sam Jacobs and his girlfriend were playing Pokemon Go between Loveland and Madeira Road at Lake Isabella. The night of fun turned into a chilling tale of horror. Dun, dun, dun. When they encountered the reported frogman. Here's what Jacob says. He said, "We saw a huge frog near the water." I feel like I should talk with like a surfer dude accent, but I'm really bad at it. The frogman was not in the game. It was actually a giant frog.
He had to clarify.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, Pokemon Go, you know. So Jacob stopped playing the Pokemon Go so he could document what he was seeing. And he actually snapped some photos of it, which I'll show you here in just a second. And we'll put on the Insta-Snap. And a video. The video
there's a video.
Yes, the video, kind of
But
sketchy.
still, I mean, there's a video.
Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, if something like this happens, I expect video or photo
Agreed.
proof. 110%.
Agreed.
But I guess the thing stood up, walked on its hind legs. He goes on to say, "I realize this sounds crazy, but I swear on my grandmother's grave that this is the truth." And the frog stood 4 feet tall. I guess when they went back to Jacob's girlfriend's home, the kids had never heard of the frogman story, and her parents filled them in on the legend and lore of the Loveland frogman. So let me see if I've got a picture I can show you. Okay, so here's the police sketch of the frog that the cops saw.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I could get how that could... not at all. At least there's no wand in his hand. But this one, that's the actual cell phone photo right there. Oh. And you look at it, he's like half in the water.
Right.
And those glow... I'm sure the guy's flash was on his camera. That's why the eyes are glowing so much.
So I would think it was fake, but like, look at the reflection on the water. Like, that looks pretty good.
No, it
for
really
someone
does.
to have faked it.
Yeah. I really can't think of what else it could be.
So here is the lizard that I was looking at. A water monitor. And they stand... This is what they look like when they're standing.
Okay. I'll put that on the Insta-Snap,
and like 2 to 3 feet. But look at this. So like here, there's another picture of a guy holding like a bigger one.
Okay. Oh, that's totally what it is.
It has.
I don't know about the photo.
I don't know about that picture.
Does he have a wand in his hand?
You see, there's no wand.
You had me, then you lost me. I don't know. That thing's ginormous.
It's massive, and people can have them as pets. The picture said loose water monitor in the UK.
Oh, that's slightly terrifying in itself to me. Because
and if they're water lizards, it would make sense for to be going to.
Well, you know, somebody doesn't want their pet anymore. They throw it in the lake in Ohio.
I mean, that's why there's so many boa constrictors in Florida.
Is it really?
Yeah, they aren't native to Florida. They're native like to Central America.
Oh, well,
but
I just thought it was a temperature thing.
Well, I mean, that's why they thrive there.
Yeah, for sure. But that is the story of the Loveland frogman.
You know, when I was living there, I like heard a couple things about it, but they're just it wasn't like this mass, you know, like Bigfoot, you know?
Right.
And so that's why I kind of just like never really felt the need to.
I should have researched and seen if it's like a thing throughout the country. If there's been more frogman spottings, kind of like Sasquatch or Mothman, or I don't know. I'll do that eventually. Or you guys can do that and email us at oddityfilescrew@gmail.com.
Have you seen a frogman?
I've not. Do you
not
think our listeners have?
Our listeners.
Our listener.
Our future listeners.
Our future listeners.
Because right now, we have no listeners.
We have
no one even knows we're doing this.
Except us, and we're our biggest fans. I did do a little call out to my friends on Facebook for ghost stories.
Yep.
Do you want to hear one?
Oh, we got some?
I've got one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. This is from my friend Lisa. It's called When Mommy Came to Visit. I'm going to just read it as is. Okay. She said, I was about 12 years old when this happened. A good guy friend of mine that I had grown up with lost his mother by suicide a night before the incident. His mother got up that morning, did the dishes, sent her friend and his brother to school, then picked up a gun, drove out to a field, and shot herself in the head.
Jeez.
It's terrible. She said it was horribly tragic, and she had suffered from mental illness for a very long time, leaving an alcoholic husband behind and 2 young misguided boys.
Oh my gosh.
Being that he was my best friend at the time and horribly grief-stricken, my mother invited him to stay at our house overnight so he could get away and be with a warm family in a time of need. That's sweet. He was oddly calm in demeanor, as I remember, for losing his mother the night before. He explained to me that she had come to visit him and let him know that everything would be okay.
What?
Yeah. Which you would hope something like that would happen, especially with 2 small boys. I don't know. I get too into my ghost stories. Of course, being the young skeptic who grew up watching every horror movie known to man, I had a hard time believing what he was saying. Night came, and I was tucked into bed, and he was in the room across the hall from me. I remember feeling uneasy when I fell asleep. I woke in a cold sweat, my chest felt very heavy, and I glanced over at my open door. At first, I stared into the darkness of the hallway until a figure appeared. Weightless, bright, and transparent in color, gliding past my door with no particular shape.
What? I literally just got like cold chills.
Yeah, for sure. As a child, as an adult, that would freak me the fuck out.
Yes.
Just a moving shape. I froze. I couldn't move or even whimper. But it didn't stop there for me. It instead went directly into my friend's room. I finally worked up the courage to crawl out of bed and put my ear to the wall to hear my friend's room. I'd have gone into the room. Just saying. But that's me.
You would have left the room following that thing.
Have you met me?
Yes.
Maybe not as a child. I'm going to put that out there.
Right.
Now, for sure.
I would just go under the covers.
Yeah, exactly what would have happened. It was quiet at first, and then I heard talking, then faint giggling and shuffling.
What?
Yes. And then a large thump. At that moment, I got up, closed my door, and raced to the bed, pulling the covers over my head.
Okay, there we are.
Yeah, and praying I could sleep through the night. Once morning came, my friend met me in the kitchen for breakfast. I asked him hastily who he was talking to that night in his room, and he only replied, "Mommy came to visit me." And now I'm covered in goosebumps. She promised me she would always come and visit me. And I'm crying. Yeah. I think it's sweet. No?
It's terrifying. And why she got to walk all through the house first? Why can't she just show up?
Stranger's house.
Why can't she just show up in the room?
Yeah. I think it's beautiful. And she said, and that was it. The last time he ever stayed over at my house, and the last time anything floated by my door. And also the last time I ever slept with my door open. That was awesome, Lisa. Thank you so much.
So that Lisa is speaking, that is her.
Yes.
That's
Lisa.
Insane. And
yes. And
so
you know Lisa.
Yeah,
too.
we know Lisa through work. So bet your ass next time I see her,
I'm going to be like, tell me
there's going to be some questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, so does she still talk to this friend, I wonder?
Yeah, she went on to say, I was just going to cut it there. She said, to this day, my friend insists he can talk to the undead and that his mother still visits him at night.
We need to talk to this friend.
We need to go to Canada and go visit
where
Lisa.
in Canada?
That I don't know. I just know she's Canadian.
We should go in May. Once the weather's nicer.
It's going to be cold. But yeah, so hey, if you guys, the 2 of you that are listening, have a ghost story you want to tell us, email us at oddityfilescrew@gmail.com.
Or not even a ghost story. Like you said, if you've seen a frogman or if you were abducted by aliens.
I want those stories.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, we should ask, we have a friend, Trevor. He has an alien encounter. We should have.
Oh my God.
Should ask him to email in.
We should totally do that. 110%. It's actually a really good story.
It is a cool story.
Very cool. Insane, actually. Talk about goosebumps. But we're not going to spoil it for you. We're going to talk him into writing the email.
But now you just got to wait and figure out when we're going to tell it.
Yeah. So you went to LA for Halloween, right?
I did go to LA for Halloween.
What'd you dress up as?
So much. So we dressed up as, so we did like a gender swap on Hocus Pocus. So instead of
my God.
the Sanderson sisters, we did the Sanderson brothers.
Oh my God, I love it.
It was so much fun.
Oh, good.
It was so much fun. And just, I mean, so we were in West Hollywood, which literally it's hundreds of thousands of people.
Oh, they go
and I'm
hard.
not saying that as like an exaggeration. It's literal hundreds of thousands of people. So the streets are just swarmed with people. And it's like when you go to Dragon Con and see just amazing cosplay.
Yeah.
The costumes there, some of them are just absolutely unreal. Like so good.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure the best of the best of the best.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in and a lot to just like deal with.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun.
Oh, good.
But you had a cool Halloween. You were actually able to trick or treat.
I know. I haven't trick or treat since my kids were young, and I always dressed up every year, and probably through like their middle school years because I didn't want to stop. But my grandson, this is the first time I've been home for Halloween. He's 2. And we went to the mall and did some trick-or-treating because it was pouring rain outside. But I dressed up as Holtzman from the new Ghostbusters movie, who's my personal spirit animal and hero. But we'll post pictures of our costumes on the Instagram as well. Follow us at Oddity Files on everything. Everything. And make sure you add us to your Amazon Prime watch list right now. Open up your phone. Pull up your Amazon Prime video app, and add us to your watch list right now. Holy shit, we've been talking for 42 minutes already.
Whoa, that was fast.
It was very fast. But if you like us, drop us an email.
Yeah, just let us know.
We're all about the ego boost.
Or if you don't like us, be like, hey, here's why we don't like you.
No, I don't think my ego could handle it. You can email Clayton directly.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, and then he'll like soften the blow for me. But thanks for listening to Oddity Files. The podcast. And remember, kids, weird is the new cool.
Is that our slogan?
No, I just made it up.
Oh, okay.
Actually, that's what I used to tell my kids when they were growing up.
Really?
110%. That's why they're weird.
It's not bad.
It's not. But we're just going to throw out some taglines.
We're going to
maybe
trial and error, and then once it clicks, it clicks.
Yeah, and then if you have something better, we might steal it from you. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye.